Hey guys, my name is Woodley, and this is Buff Networks. In today's videos, I want to give y'all a lovely lab tour of my rack. Don't mind the wires at the bottom. That's just Homelab chaos. Ignore that. But to tell you a little bit about myself, my name is Woodley. I am 23, and currently I am a system network administrator for a university in Massachusetts. I currently have my CCNA, and I'm also planning on taking my RACSA exam next month to be to have like the system administrator side because that's also cool and fun. But but for today's video, we're not talking about um, system administration or networking really. I just want to show you the layouts that we're going to be having along this journey and to document what I want to do with my lab and how I plan to grow my brain and knowledge to get into higher position roles and just show off some cool stuff that I feel like you might be interested in. If that is an interest to you, please feel free to stick around and we'll learn together. But yeah, so currently, um, as I said before, this lab is currently being used for my RCSA exam. So the server at the bottom currently has like a couple VMs with rel 10 because that's the exam we're taking for us to practice some of the commands and just learn Linux as a whole. So we have that running on the server, and then we're using one of these routers and one of the layer 2 switches to make the whole network work. The re- to make the network work, and then the reason we have all this other stuff you might be asking is, if you're only using those things, why do you need the other stuff? I want to build a company, not literally, but I want to build a company, and I logically and see how you would build like the internal infrastructure of a company. So in every company, you need layer 3 switches, layer 2 switches, a router, and you need end devices, which is what my server is here for. It will provide all my endpoint devices. And then in the back, I have about 8 NICs, 8 Ethernet ports, if you will, um, connected to it, connected to the patch panel at the top to make it work. So basically, after I take my RCSA, this lab will be tear down, rebuilt to build a company from scratch. So think Active Directory, think endpoint detection like your SIM in your EDRs, and I'm gonna try to use as much of open source material, try to make it as free 99 as possible because we don't got money for that. So to give you an overall vector, at the very top is my KVM. So that is my screen, that is my keyboard, that is my mouse. That's what that is. In the middle we have our patch panel, a 24 port patch panel, that connects into the server. We'll get into that some more. And then we have 2 layer 3 switches. Those are Cisco 3850s, and then 2 of those ports at the very end are 10 gig ports, and then the other 2 ports are 1 gig ports, which is really cool because 10 gigabit internet in a home lab, ooh, that's fast. We love that. And then below that, we have 2 Cisco 2960S series switches. Those are layer 2 switches. And then below that, we have a little Cisco ASA. For this lab, we're not using it because one, I don't have another Cisco firewall so I can put on like both sites in both companies because we're gonna try to make a company. Um, so we're simply not gonna use it. And the reason I even got it in the first place was because I was thinking of my CCNP security, but I end up liking enterprise more, so we're not using it. But below that are my two routers. They're both Cisco 2911 routers, and then the main star of the show is my server, which has two P40 GPUs, 192 gigabytes of RAM, and about 28 cores um in it, if I remember. But the real purpose of this is to build a company from dirt scratch and to see like everything that you would need for a company. So we're gonna build our own CI/CD pipeline. We're gonna build network automation and we're gonna learn to update our routers and switches just to do maintenance, documentation, monitor everything. We're gonna do it all and see what we can learn from it and grow as an individual. Um, that's the long term goal of this rack. If you find that interesting and want to um, come along, please feel free to subscribe and watch the videos as we go on this long journey of learning Cisco infrastructure and system infrastructure and virtualization and all the juicy goodness. But this is just a starting point. This is not the end. So come along. Thank you.